both of whom can't go into churches without vomiting.
It never grows tired. It never does. It never does. Early one this evening. early.
Yeah.
We're normally live 9
Still
p.m.
daylight
Eastern
out,
Standard.
man.
It's still daylight out. Yeah, but you know what? Hey, we do facilitate. We do like, hey, we do this. We do this. This is why we do this. And I must say, I'm looking forward to bringing Richard Stanley back in. I think we should bring him in. No
Let's
longer
do it.
waiting.
Let's do it.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Steve, Alex. Super good to see you guys.
Sorry about the
Confusion.
time shift.
Yeah.
I was totally oblivious to that. I'm like, I know it's coming up, but and then all of a sudden it's wait a sec. Oh, it's not 6 hours now, it's 5 hours.
Yeah,
So,
we're
but
in some kind of seasonal transition, I guess. It's just this tail end of winter and spring coming in.
when do you guys usually have your time shift there? Do you have a time zone shift or whatever?
Well, it feels like that happens almost every day around here. It can be very disorientating at the best of times. I mean, I like it that way.
How have you been? How's everything going?
Well, we're coming to the tail end of another winter here in the French Pyrenees. It's wild and weird and stormy out there. It's been I think again the hottest winter in living record.
Wow.
No snow down here in the valley this year.
No.
None whatsoever. Yeah.
They normally have snow there?
Yeah. I was surprised not to see even a sprinkling. It came on the mountains, but didn't come down into the valley this year. And it's already looking very broody and moody and tropical out there. So getting ready for another crazy greenhouse summer in the zone coming on.
Yeah, kind of like that hardware sort of foreshadowing.
That's probably just my temperament.
If you want snow, unfortunately, our snow has finally kind of gone, but we were hammered. Oh, we were hammered here. It was incredibly crazy. I don't think we've seen that much snow in quite a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
It has. Maybe kind of I don't know, but thankfully it's gone. But I can't believe it's been almost 2 years. Almost 2 years since you. Well, it has been 2 years, I think, since you're last on the show.
Yeah, it may well have been. It's very easy for me to lose track of time out here in the zone.
It is. Yeah, it's insane.
Has it really been that long?
It's been almost 2 years. I believe so. Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 years. It's crazy how time flies. Maybe it's that time shift. The time shift.
Yeah.
So Richard, we were chatting in great depth the last time you were on about I know you're interested in obviously H.P. Lovecraft and the influences that have played out and so on and so on. And I know, Alex, you're such a big H.P. Lovecraft fan. Did you want to start with Richard with a question?
Well, I'd say, where do you start with HP? That's the problem.
Exactly.
He's part of the reason why I enjoy, and Richard, get your take on it as well. But one of the reasons why I enjoy reading Lovecraft so much is because, especially in today's age, where you see more or less the same thing being recycled when it comes to horror, it's refreshing to kind of get away from that and actually get into almost like the grassroots of horror, right? Where it leaves it up to the reader's imagination to try to decipher what it is that they're actually trying or going to encounter. It doesn't come out right out and spell it out for you most of the times. It's just left up to your interpretation. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion.
Well, I think the world he's created.
Well, yeah.
The world in itself is just like it's so realistic.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's seeming increasingly realistic to the public in general. It feels like Lovecraft's work has taken a long time to land, but now planet Earth seems to be resonating on pretty much the same frequency that Lovecraft's prose is taking.
I think Cthulhu is starting to stir.
I think there's signs and portents.
Oh yeah. And with your project, and I was able to find it and watch it for the most part. Unfortunately, my French isn't the best with the French parts of the other world. And like, can you sort of like, because that's drawn from a personal experience, right?
Yeah, the other world's simply a documentation of basically we started interviewing a lot of the people who were around at that point in time. It was pretty random. Initially it was because the camera guy was staying with me and had just crashed out of a relationship and was staying in my spare room and had all the camera equipment. We started farting around with the camera and shooting bits and pieces and interviewing some of the folk, which was a good thing because probably about 3/4 of the folk in the movie are now dead, which means that we at least captured a snapshot of what was going on at the time.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, what exactly was the experience though? Like the experience and the whole sort of why, like the other world, like what was it called? It's called some sort of portal, is it not? Considered some sort of portal?
Well, the jury's out and probably should stay out as to what the heck is actually going on down here. It's a region of the French Pyrenees on the French-Spanish border, where there's a crazy high number of I guess what you'd call paranormal events, UFO activity, ghosts, and just generally downright strange behavior, and the proliferation of strange and sometimes aberrant belief systems. People tend to believe the wildest shit down here. It even seems credible.
High strangeness.
Yeah, high strangeness pocket. And I call it the zone, just which is a terminology borrowed from Boris and Arkady Strugatsky from their book Roadside Picnic, the basis for Andrei Tarkovsky's Stalker.
Yeah.
We have a couple of reasons. One, it may be that whatever is wrong out here goes all the way back to some pre-human period, and it could be some kind of jigger in space-time or something which is just a little bit off. Maybe it's the iron content of the mountains and the electromagnetic field of the Pyrenees, or something which is super ancient that's just been exerting an influence over things. I mean, maybe Lovecraftian deities or certain dethroned pagan divinities live down here in the mountains. I believe that L. Ron Hubbard believed that Xenu, the galactic warlord, was imprisoned in a magnetic mountain somewhere in the Pyrenees. So this notion of some kind of eldritch deity or force, which has actually always been here since the mists of time, which has been exerting an influence over human affairs in various wacky ways for centuries. And
as you're saying, some of it credible, and we're talking about for a long time. This has been, these sort of accounts have been going on for like hundreds, maybe thousands of years.
Yeah, it's difficult to know because it disappears beyond the first scratchings of human records. But you do have some of the earliest traces of human art in the area in the form of the cave paintings. And you've got, for instance, at the cave of the three brothers at Troy Frere. There's the sorcerer of Troy Frere with his antlers and his wolf's tail and those big wide staring eyes from way back and, you know, towards the end of the last ice age. A huge proliferation of mother goddesses and sacred items that have come out of the caves and out of the ground. So it's quite possible that there's been continuous ritual usage of some locations since the dawn of time. In one cave, they found a stone ring which was so deeply embedded into the limestone that it technically predates Cro-Magnon man. It's technically would have to have been built by the Neanderthals or whatever came before us. So, yeah, it's old.
Yeah. So what drew you to this magnificent place? I mean, ever since you described it in the first show and everything else, to me, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, well, I guess it was either blind chance or some kind of glitch in the matrix thing. But I got drawn in around 1990 when I got sent out here as a researcher, hired on by Channel 4 Television's religion department. Initially, they were wanting to make a sort of real-life Raiders of the Lost Ark show. They had done a hit show called The Real Jurassic Park about recovering dinosaur DNA from amber, and wanted to do the same thing with Raiders of the Lost Ark, and put me on a nice retainer and sent me on a fully funded trip to research the story. And then, of course, the story just got weirder the more time I spent with it.
You never left. You're still there. Wait a sec. Are we gonna get our material? Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Like it just sounds like a very mysterious and amazing place to sort of. Is it would you recommend people come to live there, or is it just like visit? You just need to visit. Like what sort of scenario would you kind of paint for people who are kind of looking at the Pyrenees?
I guess to be very careful, to not go there lightly, because it seems to me that it's going to amplify anything you do, and it's very testing to be in a set of circumstances where you're potentially dealing with the unknown, and the long-term effects on people are not good. And,
really?
The overwhelming number of people who get involved in the mystery, either lose the plot or die or are killed. I mean, it's strange to me that so many of the people from the Otherworld documentary are now dead. And Secret Glory, the first Otto Rahn documentary I made, I think only one person from that's still alive. But there's a very high mortality rate amongst researchers, which continues to this day. Wow.
That's incredible. With your sort of influence with H.P. Lovecraft, and we have to say Dario Argento. But your views, your personal views, your take on that great unknown that many call this, the supernatural, the paranormal. What's your take on all that? I mean, what is it the fact that science just can't explain it, or maybe they can explain it, but what's your take on that sort of scenario, the paranormal and its meaning?
Well, I guess I spent a lot of years writing for the Fortean Times magazine, got more cover stories in Fortean Times than I think practically anyone else. Very proud of that run. And what I learned from the Fortean Times is extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence.
Yeah.
And if you've got something which doesn't make sense to science or the rational mind, then some part of me really wants to document it, pursue it, or try to prove it. Pix or it didn't happen. The standard of evidence needs to be, I think, pretty strict with this sort of stuff, because really down here we do see wild fluctuations in what's considered to be consensus reality, human belief systems. Like during the COVID lockdown, for instance, all it took was the Wi-Fi and the telecommunications to go down, which it did once for almost 3 days. Everything was out as far as the regional capital, and it was folk were okay with it for the first day or so. By the second day, rumors were starting to spread that maybe there'd been a nuclear war, or there was no central authority anymore. People were already thinking about stockpiling weapons and stuff. Things went sideways very fast. Rumors of alien invasion caught on, that aliens had reproduced people or replaced people, became commonly believed for a few days. So different people's hold on what's real, I think, skids so severely that having a fairly strict standard of evidence for what one chooses to believe in is a good survival technique.
Yeah. So when you're looking at, say, a personal experience with something that you would consider paranormal, I mean, you'd have to literally, you would thoroughly think this out. I mean, have you had or maybe many experiences with what you would consider paranormal or supernatural?
Yeah, I mean, by now, a fair old roster of stuff. But being a sort of arch skeptic, I'm always fighting my own reasons. So 90% of that stuff is things that just happen when you're on your own, or which nobody else sees, which you can't really prove actually happened. Just little weird fucking things that right, but at the same time, you got nowhere to file them. I think it's normal for one to discard those things when one puts together one's memory of the day. There's often a few little points that don't make sense, but it really these days it has to be something that happens in full view of other witnesses for me to be absolutely sure, because then you can't you have that get out clause of going, well, it must have been an acid flashback or a temporary lapse of sanity, that something I must have been hallucinating, maybe it was stress or overwork, and you make up an excuse. So it's these days I'm pretty much down for things that when there's more than one person there, or there's some proof that moment really happened.
Yeah. I got yeah.
I think I mentioned this the last time you were on, Richard. I'm not sure. Let me open this up here.
Yeah.
Donald Tyson. Yeah, I think you did mention.
Yeah, it's a very thick book. It's an excellent read. It was written by Donald Tyson about the journey of the Mad Arab, from his beginning to how he became the author of the Necronomicon. Interesting read.
Reading that.
There's a couple of questions here. Let's get these out of the way first, and then we'll move on. Steve was asking, are there any magnetic anomalies within the zone that you had mentioned in the Pyrenees there?
Yeah, totally. I mean, typically Bucharest, the big magnetic mountain, which is just down the way from where I am now, which is a kind of a UFO window area, portal area, that was at the center of the the epidemic hysteria thing in 2012, when the French military had to declare martial law in the region and declared a restricted area around Bucharest. Bucharest affects compasses and aerial navigation, so it's known to have some kind of palpable, measurable effect. But I think also the iron content in the mountains here is very strong, which is also why there's crazy electromagnetic storms, and that may have something to do with it, and because it possibly affects human brainwaves in some way.
Yeah, most definitely. You almost expect that that it would. With the content, or sorry, the concentrations being high. Okay, so one other question here. If you could film anywhere, where would it be and why?
Good question. The last few weeks I've been dreaming a lot of Mount Kailash, because I've been thinking of Shambhala quite a lot. I've got a book coming, which is landing in August in American bookstores, which is a book called Otto Rahn Grail Hunter, which is a massive 450-page door-stopping account of the Nazi quest for the Holy Grail in the 1930s, and that's landing in bookstores in August. From
August, I have to keep my eyes open for that.
So coming soon, but the good folk who are publishing it are so happy with Otto Rahn Grail Hunter that I've just signed a contract to write a second book, which is focusing on the search for Shambhala. And I've been thinking a lot about Mount Kailash and these places in the Karakorums and on the edge of Mongolia, which
that'd be cool.
Is somewhere I'm very much hoping to get to next. But Lovecraft, the plan on the Dunwich adaptation is to try and bring the beast home. The idea is to shoot it in Rhode Island and to shoot it in Massachusetts, to actually attempt to bring about the first Lovecraft movie to ever be shot in Lovecraft country, which is crazy to me that whenever we do adapt Lovecraft movies, they seem to always shoot them in San Diego or Portugal or anywhere but New England, when Lovecraft is so deeply steeped in the lore and the atmosphere of the region. So in terms of shooting locations, Brown University for Miskatonic. And if I had to really narrow it down, I would like to shoot in the Applied Mathematics building at Brown. I'm very fond of that particular block.
It's just, I mean, you walk through, and you really do feel it. You really do feel that it just oozes with that sort of that feeling, and that oh man, that'd be so. I mean, what kind of interest are we talking about here? I mean, is there tons of interest? Because I know there's been a lot of people that have been wondering about you and getting that project off the ground. So I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a long time coming, and we'll never be able to mount a huge mega budget movie, but the biggest spend I've ever had on it was on Color Out of Space, and at the end of the day, that wasn't much more than 3.8 million below the ground below the line to spend in Portugal. I don't see myself getting much more than 3.84 to make a movie of this nature. So for this reason, we've been forced to split Dunwich in half into two smaller movies, rather than trying to turn it into. Otherwise, telling the whole story would have left us in this kind of $7 million wasteland where no one's actually prepared to back a indie horror movie of this nature on that kind of budget. But, doing
Is
it.
part of the reason why at the Mountains of Madness has struggled to get off the ground.
Yeah, one of the reasons, because obviously it's a mega budget movie. Otherwise, everything is going to be a VFX cartoon or something. I mean, all of Lovecraft's material, it's like set in the Dreamlands or set in Sunken Relief or at the Mountains of Madness in the Antarctic.
The Antarctic,
Super hard to adapt. You have to be kind of a major studio to dare to go there, and usually, apart from everything else, the studios don't like Lovecraft because it's public domain and they can't control the IP or the copyright. Nobody owns Cthulhu or the Necronomicon. Anyone can write their own Necronomicon, and trying to get folk to invest large sums of money in something which is public domain, where they can't own, register, and trademark the IP is a bit of a reach.
Yeah, because I know Del Toro's been trying desperately, on and off again. You know what I mean? He's been linked to that movie, but it just never seems to get off the ground. And I had a feeling it was probably because of budgetary reasons, and also because of the location. At the end of the day, for that movie, would have to be something that looked like the Antarctic, if not outright the Antarctic.
Yeah, it's clearly got the same dynamic as the thing with albino penguins. I wish that Del Toro would have weighed in to defend Lovecraft more strongly over the last few years, because Lovecraft's also been attacked, and that's also impacted on the ability to get major studios to back the material. To a large extent, Lovecraft also deserves to be rehabilitated. The bronze bust of Lovecraft has to come out of the cupboard at the Athenaeum Museum Library. He has to be re-embraced by Providence, and I think the willingness is there to see that happen.
Okay, there's another question here for you. The movie Marlin was an amazing piece of work, but was Richard disappointed by the cut bass scene, as I have seen the uncut version, which fitted the film better, but I love the film Respect.
What movie are we talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Marillion.
Marillion, sorry.
Oh yeah, fuck. Okay, that's not that one hasn't been on my radar for years. Yeah.
Yeah. That was what the mid 90s?
Yeah, it was somewhere back in time, a very long time ago. We're all pretty much out of our minds. Had this idea of dropping or throwing someone from the Severn Bridge over the Severn Estuary, and somehow managed to spin this thing with the bridge up to become a whole mini movie.
You know what? I would be quite intrigued, because we touched on how when you're starting out, basically, and you lucked into an all-night matinee of Dario Argento movies back in the day when you first made your way to the UK, and obviously influence much of your work. If you were approached by somebody and said, Richard, we'd love you to remake a Dario Argento movie, which one would it be?
No, I mean, there could be a far better Mother of Tears movie. That's for sure. I'd sure like to see a better third part to the Three Mothers trilogy. A stronger lacrimae, where we would actually get to explore this character of Marta Lacrimarum. And return to the trilogy would be fun. I mean, certainly the way things have been in the last few years, remaking Four Flies on Grey Velvets so occurred to me a few times. It's creepy when those thoughts occur. You think, shit, this is just like Four Flies on Grey Velvet. But that thought has occurred to me.
Yeah, it's a shame because I mean, you know, it goes back to a safety net sort of. But yeah, but that would be that'd be really interesting to see Mother of Tears. I remember seeing the premiere with him and his daughter there, and that was quite a unique experience. But yeah, it's sad that the first two parts, but yeah, I would love to see a stronger ending to that, or even a continuation, perhaps.
That's the thing,
yeah.
The Three Mothers expanded universe.
Yeah, there's just so much there, so much potential. Somebody approached you, Richard, and said, "Look, I'd like to remake, or I'd like to pay tribute to a movie called Hardware." What kind of advice would you give them?
It's probably a dangerous thing to do, and I'm still hoping to do it myself.
Oh, really?
And the side of death, I would really like to be able to get back into the wasteland and re-engage with those themes and get back to that post-Holocaust world. So if I can't do it by making a direct sequel, the desire to make a spiritual sequel, which is effectively continuing it on, remains strong, because I think, protest now because tomorrow it'll be too late. I mean, a lot of the things in Hardware are spookily relevant, and I do think that, sadly, drone soldiers are going to be a thing before too very long.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, yeah, we had a question, actually. Let me just reverse here. B was just asking something kind of touching on what you mentioned there, and what's your take on the recent drone activity? Have you been following that at all?
Yeah, I have. I mean, Lord knows what's actually going on out there. I mean, here, I mentioned here in the zone, things have skewed sideways pretty far sometimes, to the points where people have been actively believing we've been invaded or infiltrated by aliens. And for a while, I was really praying that would happen, because I thought, like, if only the aliens would hurry up and drop the other shoe, and it would turn out that they'd infiltrated our society decades ago and were secretly running human affairs. It would come as kind of a relief. But there's an awful lot of like weird activity going on in the skies, but there's also an awful lot of like weird private tech out there, and trying to track what's paranormal, what's like unregistered secret government drones, or it's a wilderness. I mean, there's down here in the mountains, we've got a lot of I think straight up what you'd call UAPs, like unidentified atmospheric phenomena, little electromagnetic events, pulses of light, things which I don't think are manned craft, but still don't have any logical or rational explanation.
Okay, another question here.
Kevin's question?
Yeah, you wanna?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's asking, what's your favorite recent horror movie? He just came from movies today. Saw 2 Blumhouse horror movies on the way: Lady in the Yard and Sinners, I believe. So you're basically asking what your most recent favorite horror movie is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what I'd even class as a horror movie these days.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, maybe haven't been watching enough of the current crop. Like a lot of folk, I haven't seen Nosferatu, and I haven't seen anything current beyond the the last 6 months or so. But I watched Poor Things over Christmas and enjoyed that. So that was a nice Christmas Day movie.
Yeah, I have a lot of huge hard time with a lot of the current crop, and it's very blurred, the lines of what get considered horror now. It really has. Okay, hold on. Just make sure that okay. Yeah, no, I've had a hard time with a lot of them. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, my attention span is maybe thinner. I don't know. It just a lot of them are just having a hard time holding my attention. I don't know what it is. The lack of maybe a good storyline. But then again, plot and that sometimes works well if there's a lack of plot, and I don't know. I have a hard time, but
horror movies are really, really hard. Is my opinion. Obviously, that could be completely wrong because I don't watch a crap ton of movies. But the problem with horror movies I see is if you don't have a really good storyline, you can have the best graphics in the world, and that's fine for some people. But for the majority of people who want to get really scared, you need to have sort of like a really gripping story, and this, harkening back to H.P. Lovecraft, is one of the reasons why I love his stories so much. It's almost like a lost art, right?
A lost art, yeah.
Well, certainly suffering, I think, at the moment, and it's because indie horror and the idea of one-off horror movies is almost dying out. Is gradually being supplanted by series material and the Netflix approach. It's been it's a leaner season than ever for truly indie horror material, and it's I think by its nature been getting lamer, but there's hope. It's always been a bit of a wasteland.
Yeah, it certainly has changed from when you were probably getting a lot of your indie flicks out there as opposed to now. It just seems, I don't know, it like you said, it's leaner at this point, but I mean, is it what is it? Because obviously there are so many platforms out there now that are available, and they're constantly looking for material, and it's a lot of the stuff that they're presenting is just like, I don't get it. I don't understand why. There's no thought put into it, no passion. Like I know a lot of indie flicks, they once had tons of passion. I mean, that was the reason why they were noticed, because of the passion that they put into the work. And it just, I don't know. It seems like that's missing now, Richard.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grisly time for that. It's down to us to keep trying to be true to ourselves, I think, and to the genre. And there's always hope. It's nice seeing the Demi Moore movie getting Oscar recognition. It's nice seeing that there's still edgy genre material out there, and the climate is changing again. It's been constantly changing. I mean, I think folk have been telling me that it's all over, that the industry is doomed. There's no point in bothering. Ever since I became an adult in the 1980s, it's always been in a state of complete apocalypse. So there's always the chance of a non-recurring phenomena happening and some kind of genuinely edgy idea actually getting set up and made, and lightning can strike, accidents can happen, and I don't think it's the end just yet.
Yeah, no. It's funny that you mentioned Substance. Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
No, I was totally thrown totally 360 with that movie. Totally, I enjoyed it, and it's funny, without giving too much away. But I mean, there was one scene that literally I was thinking, okay, wait a sec, am I watching like sort of this modern day version of Basket Case? Yeah, man, the one scene I'm like, wow, this is because I mean, you're watching this movie and it's the dramatic sort of intense sort of thing, storyline, and the way it's driven, and then all of a sudden, bang, and without giving too much away, you're like, whoa. And I could see, yeah, like I think she should have won. I do. She did a great job. She did a great job. Oh, yeah. Sorry?
Good stuff. So,
Yeah.
Keep flying the flag for the genre. And,
yeah, exactly. In terms of H.P. Lovecraft, what would you like to see come to light? Some other stuff that you'd like to see come to light with a proper representation of his work.
It's a pretty broad field, but there's still no definitive Call of Cthulhu. Somebody's going to go after Cthulhu. It's obviously the big one, and the elephant in the room. I know James Wan threw his hat into the arena a few years ago. Pretty much everyone I know is worth their salt's got at least one Cthulhu screenplay on their desktop. But yeah, for whatever reason, nobody's actually mounted the definitive Call of Cthulhu.
That would be something.
I started watching the Call of Cthulhu that was made, and I just couldn't force myself to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, and it's like as if it was the Call of Cthulhu made by Guy Madden, kind of campy. But my general feeling is that I would like to see the old ones, Lovecraft's primal forces, represented in a way that will communicate that awe and terror to future generations. It's like much as I love my plush Cthulhu, I do want to see the old ones given back their respect.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say though that'll, if it's done right, you can instill fear in the younger generation. That's what we need. We need fear put back in the youth.
Fear in the younger generation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I felt that there's been a tendency, particularly with the Lovecraft adaptations and the period setting, and to increasingly associate these things with a sort of quaint thing that happened in the 1930s, or some kind of role-playing game that one's parents used to play. I think because the old ones need to be repositioned as a clear and present threat to the present human order of things. And
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so why Color Out of Space? Why pick that then? What interests you the most about adapting that?
Oh, it was a macabre situation. Been by now probably well known, but thanks to a set of circumstances, I had a young businessman, venture capitalist character in Montsegur, and who had put up the money for a short film we'd made, The Mother of Toads. yeah, Daryl was very happy with the way Mother of Toads turned out, and said, "I tell you what, as we just figured out that the material was in public domain, he said, why don't I could pay you 10 grand to write a screenplay based on the public domain Lovecraft story, and maybe we could shoot it here because this is the zone, and it's kind of like that." And I thought, okay, sure, I want to do the Dunwich horror. Daryl, the chappie footing the bill, was adamant that I should make color out of space instead.
Oh, okay.
Space, which baffled me at first. So I thought, fuck, that's such a generic story. Like a meteorite comes out of the sky, hits a farmer with dungarees comes out, and everyone's done that story so many times. Trying to make that one fresh again and tell it in a way that would make it fun again. It was a challenge, and it's obviously also got a color out of space, which you can't actually show people because it's outside of the human spectrum, which is another
it's kind of like the lights behind you blinking.
Yeah, I mean, hot pink's still a part of my life. I mean, there was always an impetus that hot pink shouldn't be allowed to belong to just Barbie. And I guess ultraviolet and infrared being the outer limits of the human spectrum. That they're colors that have also been increasingly associated with Lovecraft's material.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen the Dunwich Horror, like a remake of that, or the adaptation rather, not a remake.
Well,
stay tuned to this channel.
Yeah, stay tuned.
I'm staying tuned.
Exactly. Stay tuned.
I'll even be an extra in the background who gets killed right away, like 2 minutes after in the show. I don't care.
Free of charge. There you go. Free of charge. He'll pay for his own plane ticket and everything.
Just trying to keep posted.
Yeah, it's you're saying a smaller budget, but I exactly. So making something like the Dunwich, I think would probably kind of benefit from something on a smaller sort of scale anyways. When you look at the trend of a lot of these movies that have been made as for such a smaller budget and how effective they are, I think it would be awesome.
Dunwich, certainly if we're going to be splitting it into two halves, devolves into a first half, which is very much a kind of occult goodwill hunting. It's it's effectively an occult academic scandal at Miskatonic. Wilbur Whateley tries to get his hands on the book, and most importantly, it takes us on to into Miskatonic University. Takes us on campus. We get to meet the faculty. We get to see the university, and we also get to go into the rare books department, and we get to see the book. So there's a bunch of clear challenges presented by the material and things that would be an absolute delight to engage with and explore. So part one is very much the Wilbur Whateley Miskatonic University library story.
Nice. That and being true to it. That would be. I look forward to that. I look forward to it.
Another question. If we got time.
Yeah. Go.
Michael asks if you could work on a collaboration with any director, who would you like to work with?
Tough question. I'd still like to work with Dario, probably. Bringing it full circle. And always wished that I'd written a script that was worthy of Dario's attention. I guess bringing me back to my desire to see an effective third Mother movie.
Would you consider sitting down and putting together a classic giallo?
I'd kind of like to do a classic giallo melding elements from the Three Mothers universe, because I like the witchy supernatural element, but there's also terrible murders inside of the Suspiria Inferno universe. So I think some kind of combination of those two would be nice. It would also be nice to see a third Mother movie shot in Rome. She lives in Rome, and it would be, I was disappointed by the catacombs in the third movie. I would like to see this go to the Vatican. And,
shoot it there. There's another question there, I believe. Hold on.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. Okay. So Steve's asking, does Richard have plans to work again with Steve Annis, and incredibly talented cinematographer, which should be incredible. And
yeah, well, no doubt, hands down, Steve's first choice for Dunwich. I would, very much like to, shoot Dunwich in the same visual style, pretty much as Color Out of Space. So, I adored what Steve did.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I love the visuals. Cinematically, it's I thought it was beautiful. It was perfect in terms of how it looked, the colors, the spectrum. And again, can we say the influences, say, from a Suspiria are in there?
Yeah, I mean, Dario's taught me a lot. I think right at the off, and that always remains a part of the thing's fabric. I've just always loved bright psychedelic colors as well. We've gone through various phases in the genre where I guess the people making these things have stopped taking psychedelics for a while or something, but where everything's been very desaturated. And I've always liked fierce reds, oranges, deep purples, bright pinks, and strong color, saturated colors. So that might be a side effect from being hit so hard between the eyes by when I first saw it.
We got to take a short break here. Are you good to go for a little longer? Or?
Absolutely, sir. It's a pleasure.
Okay, hold tight. We'll be right back with Richard Stanley. Don't go anywhere. You're watching and listening to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on our YouTube channel exclusively, and will be replayed on the New Visions Radio Network. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Good evening. I'm Richard Palmisano, the founder of the Searcher Group. It's a paranormal company, the oldest in Canada, founded in 1979, which not only makes me old, but makes me doing paranormal research and field work for just under 45 years now. I am also an author, researcher, and lecturer on the paranormal. I've written 6 books now. And I really enjoy coming on with Steve and Alex on Nocturnal Frequency Radio, as well as listening to the shows, because there's a lot of interesting guests there. I like it, looking at this stuff, because it opens your mind to other options and other alternative thoughts. There's always time to learn new things. So I hope you join us and come and see Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Thank you.
So let me ask you, what makes for good radio?
My 5 favorite songs all day long.
Play it again.
No.
As many commercials as physically possible.
What? No, why would that be good?
Great music, great talk shows, no commercials!
Precisely. New Visions Radio gives you no commercials, no nonsense, just the best new music and the best talk all day long, 24/7, 365. NewVisionsRadio.com.
Hey guys, Kristen here, host of the Paranormal Girl podcast, a bingeable exploration and deep dive education about the paranormal for the skeptical believer. Some of my past season topics have included shadow people, Mandela effect, demons, and UFOs. Currently, I am tackling Bigfoot. I have been sharing this journey with my audience since early 2021, and I have learned a lot these last few years. It's truly a mysterious world out there beyond our perceptions, and reality is just not what it seems. I have also, since the start, met some awesome folks like Alex and Steve, and I've really enjoyed watching and learning from them and also joining them on their show. Their guests are always outstanding, their listeners are just the coolest, and these hosts are some of my favorite people. I recommend their show to anyone looking for an intelligent and fun conversation about the paranormal amongst friends. So join me on my investigation, join Steve and Alex on theirs, and enjoy. Now back to the show. You are watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
And that you are. You're watching exclusively here on the YouTube channel. And this will be, the audio will be replayed on our on the New Visions Radio Network throughout the week. So those of you who are listening to New Visions this evening, you won't hear us, at least live. Yeah, well, once again, I want to thank Richard for joining us. It's always great to have you, Richard. You know, it's as you put it, what is it? The borderlands of the human experience. I like that.
Yeah, I guess the outermost limits of our consciousness, which is pretty much tied to our physical senses, our visual spectrum, which runs between infrared and ultraviolet, or our audio spectrum, which runs between infrasound and ultrasound.
You know, I when I look at H.P. Lovecraft and his work, how I'm always reminded of a realm that many people really kind of have heard of but don't really know a lot about, and that's the metaphysical world, you know, the unseen worlds, you know. And what are your thoughts about the metaphysical world? Do you have you sort of journeyed into that sort of realm, the metaphysical sort of aspect of life?
Well, there's clearly a lot more going on in this reality than our consciousness can readily contain. I mean, at this late stage in the proceedings, I now believe in ghosts because I got no choice, and we none of us really know what the hell happens when we fall asleep and dream, and we still don't know whether we're in a simulation or a dream to begin with. So it's it's freaky stuff.
That's a sick, twisted sense of humor. Whoever created us, if there was a creator, to make us suffer in a dream, physical pain. It's like, what the fuck?
Physical pain, yeah.
In a dream. If this is okay, like if this is a simulation, why are we suffering pain? Physical pain. I'm not talking about emotional, because that's separate. That's non-physical. But why do we fucking suffer physical pain in a simulation?
Is that not what purgatory is supposed to be?
Yeah, it's freaky stuff.
He's purgatory. Yeah, I mean, you hear that quite often. I mean, I know I've heard it as it being a theory that you know, our current state as we know it is a waiting period to sort of transition into real life. If you look at sort of the Tibetan book of the dead, if you will, and how, you know, it's there to prepare you for life after death. If you're able to, you know, sort of forget about the physical sort of aspect of the materialistic things that you experience and covet in life, that you know, you're able to sort of carry on to the next sort of level of existence. May it be, you know, the ultimate sort of jewel, if you will, in terms of, you know, eternal life, if you will, eternal being. But if you're not able to, then you're reincarnated, and you're reincarnated constantly. It's an ongoing thing until you're able to sort of lose your, you know, your covet ofness of the materialistic things in life. And I mean, I always look back to the, you know, the experience that people were you know, witnessed in Vietnam, and that Tibetan monk who set himself on fire. You know, and, you know, literally showing no pain. You know, it's, I mean, what are your thoughts about life after death? I mean, do you believe that? I mean, yeah, sure. We do have an energy, you know, our body is full of frequencies and energy. And does that sort of move on? Well, the physical vessel dies. I mean, what are your thoughts about that, Richard?
Yeah, well, like most folk, I have no idea. I mean, it's possible that consciousness is some form of, there could be a symbiotic relationship. It could be a number of different things which separate at the point of death, and it's possible that one's personality, might be something which is that lingers, or in some form that takes longer to die than the physical body, and the soul or life essence goes back into the whatever it is, the abyss of it could be endless reincarnation, or whatever process is going on.
We could do a mini series on this, you know.
Yeah. Here in the Pyrenees, it's a particularly strong issue right now, because it's coming towards mid-March. March 16th is the anniversary of the mass burning of the heretics at Montsegur.
Okay.
Yeah, which sort of the largest mass burning of witches and heretics in European history, that happened in March 16th, 1244. is commemorated every year down through the ages.
Oh wow! And what do they do for this sort of acknowledgement? What do they do? Do they have some sort of ceremony that plays out, or?
Well, over the years, generally, Neo-Cathar sympathizers have gathered around the Martyrs Memorial and the Field at the Stake, the Camp de Cremat at the base of the mountain, and generally, someone in years gone by, often myself, would read a list of the names of the martyrs, or the people who died that day, so that their names might be remembered. Generally, if they would sing a few songs. In the last many years, Christian Koenig from who sat the band has been there, who's a master panpipe player. So generally, there's a few of the old songs. Everyone sings canto, and everyone sings a version of Le Boyer. This tradition's been kind of opposed in recent years, where the Martyrs Memorial has been partially fenced off to prevent people gathering around it in large numbers. So it's more muted than it was in times gone by. I mean, back in the 1990s, at the end of the 20th century, I remember there being hundreds of people there. In the present day, maybe 100 or 150 max.
Okay, Alex, Adam's got a question, and there's a couple questions there.
Michael's got a question as well.
Okay.
Who inspired you the most to become a director, and what do you enjoy most about it?
Whoop.
Uh-oh. Did we lose?
Go ahead.
I guess right from the off, said this a few times before, the first movie I ever saw was the original King Kong. I grew up in Africa, and at that time there was no television in the part of the world that I was in. I didn't get to see television until I was in my around 10 years old. So when I was 4 years old, my dad brought home a 16mm print of King Kong, projected it against the wall, and I was deeply impressed. So I suspect Carl Denham, the fictional film director in the Kong movie, was probably imprinted itself onto my consciousness from when I was very young as a kind of aberrant role model. I was afflicted with the desire to go to places where no one had ever been before, to try to bring back images and things that no one had ever seen before. So I guess, Kong and Denham. Big fan of Marion C. Cooper, Marion C. Cooper and Ernest Schutzak, the folk behind the original Kong. I mean, Marion was originally a barnstorming biplane pilot, then enlists in World War One. Is decorated a whole bunch of times, experiments with cameras on the plane wings in World War One. Likes the war so much that after the war he re-enlists, gets shot down, ends up in a Russian gulag, escapes, and then makes a documentary following Mongolian herdsmen across Mongolia, and then makes Chang, the big elephant movie, and then has the idea to do the big ape movie, Kong. They even fly their own biplanes and shoot Kong down off the Empire State Building. So I remain in total fucking awe of these guys.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, there's another one.
Yeah, there's another question
Oh,
here.
Go ahead.
Was Austin Osman Spare an influence on either your creative processes or your esoteric practices?
I guess I have to say not particularly, because I've never quite been in the Crowley Spare OTO side of the fold, and I guess coming out of Africa, I was coming into the supernatural in a kind of a different way, and have we got time for an anecdote?
How what? Yeah, there's a question. How different was and you know, coming out of South Africa as opposed to, you know, going into when you made your way into Europe? I mean, the difference of the supernatural and how it's perceived and how it's looked at. I mean, how different was it for you?
Vastly different in that, South Africa was all about bush spirits and African magic, and being dropped into Europe, it was a different world, and it took a while for me to start to receive on that channel, on that frequency. But I want to tell you an anecdote about how the trail started for me in Europe. The thing that set me off down that path and first opened my eyes to the existence of the esoteric tradition. And that was, I had lunch in New York with Dario Argento in, I believe it was the summer of 1990. And it was with Dario Argento and the journalist Maitland McDonagh. And we mostly discussed at the table why Dario didn't want to make the third Mothers movie, why he had stopped it, and whether he was ever going to make fucking Lacrimé and get on with it.
Just give him a little push. Come on, just give him a little push.
So that's largely the subject of the day. And I think we're on the Lower East Side, and I saw a Santeria Botanica that was selling a bunch of plaster gods and candles. In the window was a little Black Mother. I thought, okay, I'm going to buy that little statue as a souvenir of our lunch.
Oh wow!
Because I know in Inferno, the Mother of Darkness, Martha rules New York. She controls New York. How cool is that? I'm going to buy that little statue. I bought this little plaster icon in the store. At that time, I was working for Miramax for the dreaded Harvey Weinstein, and I was it was time of 1990. It was Hardware's first release. I think I'd been in New York for some like advanced screening of Hardware, and then I got posted direct to Spain, to the Sitges Film Festival, to promote the movie. Hardware was screening at Sitges. I got sent by Miramax to represent the movie in Sitges, and I packed my bag, flew to Barcelona. It was, in fact, the first time I'd ever been to Spain. I'd never been to Barcelona. I was with a friend. I was very young. I was very cocky and arrogant. We rented a car at Barcelona airport and tried to drive to the Sitges Film Festival, and immediately became hopelessly lost on the peripheral road around Barcelona with no idea where we were going, and it was pre-sat-nav. Then we saw a high spiky mountain that the road was curving towards, and then we saw that there was like a basilica monastery thing high up on the mountain, and a cable car service. And we had the stupid stoner thought that we could stop the car and we will take the cable car to the top of the mountain, and we'll look and we'll see where the coastline of Spain is. Somehow get ourselves back on track again. And we caught the cable car up to the basilica. I saw that there was hundreds of pilgrims walking up through the mist going to the shrine, and I went to get a coffee and have a cigarette, and I saw that there were hundreds of replicas of the same statue I just bought in New York on sale to the pilgrims. That the original icon, the Black Mother of Montserrat, was there in the basilica. Moreover, she's the Virgin of the New World because she's allegedly the first Christian effigy to make it across the Atlantic, because a hermit from Montserrat allegedly went with Columbus, and this is why Montserrat is like Montserrat in the Caribbean. So she had a reason to be in to be in New York. There she was on the mountain, holding sway with hundreds of people bowing to her. Yeah, my my consciousness practically caved in. I was utterly baffled by yeah, how anything like that could have happened.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Started me down a certain path, and then like we did manage to course correct. We made it to the Sitges Film Festival. We were booked in. We were too late for dinner, and the only big movie playing that night was a restored print of Harryhausen's Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh wow.
And I was late getting in because we were stumbled into John Voight in the foyer, and John Voight was insisting the world was coming to an end soon because of the Hopi prophecies, which is super bizarre.
I assume he's quite the interesting character.
Yeah, and we go into the cinema and sit down, and there are these big gods moving Jason and people around on the chessboard. At which point I was thinking, fuck. Dario was my gateway drug into the European esoteric tradition.
Yeah, I'd say it. It's funny how he has that effect on people, right?
Those damn Italians.
Yeah.
I got another question here. What is your worldly view of the concepts held, the differences of the Western world and Eastern world cultures, such as life after death?
Wow. That's a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely need a drink after a question like that. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm still not really sure on, and probably won't be until I'm dead, as to what's actually going to happen out there. Whether consciousness just withers in the brainstem as some Crowley fears, or whether indeed our souls go on to be incarnated multiple times and hopefully eventually reach Buddha state and help bring the whole of the world to Dharmakaya and some kind of enlightened final state of spiritual evolution. And I would dearly like it to be so.
Wait a sec, Alex. Alex, are we experiencing the possibility, the reincarnation of Cthulhu? It's Richard Stanley.
Hey.
No. You know, one movie I'd love to talk about, and we haven't really touched base on, and one that I love. I do. It's such a, again, post-apocalyptic sort of scenario, and that's Dust Devil.
Yeah, Dust Devil doesn't get enough love.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
That's because it's a South African movie, and it's hard to love for that reason.
Yeah. What can you sort of run us through it? I mean, how did it come into being, and because I know there are people probably listening, watching, and in chat or whatever that are familiar with Dust Devil, but maybe not quite so much as myself. And I know, Alex, I don't think you've ever seen Dust Devil, have you?
I have not.
No. Such a good movie. Such a good movie.
I'll try and seek out the intact movie, because Dust Devil was really murdered by Harvey Weinstein at Miramax, who cut it to shit and took about 30 minutes of the supernatural stuff out, and all of the the socio-cultural underpinnings of it, which made the initial American release much stupider and kind of incomprehensible. So if you're coming to Dust Devil, try and come to the full international cut, which is a much broader movie. And it comes out of African mythology, out of some part of it tribal African mythology, but some part of it also settler mythology, like places like the Namib Desert and the Great Karoo, big, flat, wide, empty, zones where people have experiences, things happen. One of the things that happens is, vanishing hitchhikers.
Yep.
We have vanishing hitchhikers in South Africa. Ghost hitchhikers that people give rides to. They say odd things and then boom, disappear out of the car.
That's a phenomenon. I've heard that quite a bit. Not so much in South Africa, but over here.
Yeah, you hear it in the States, and you hear
in the States here. Yeah.
And the thing that's really creepy about it is that each time you get the sensation that the people reporting it have never heard that it's ever been reported anywhere else before. Like it's so isolated. Like it was a South African cop on a motorbike who had picked up a dead girl in the little Karoo, but I didn't think that he was doing it because he knew there were identical stories in California or in the Australian outback. But it's just one of those weird little local outback phenomena that seem to actually happen. Ghost or dead hitchhikers. I think it's from what I understand of the process, that's something to do with slipping into a state of highway hypnosis. It's like a liminal state where you're not asleep, but you're not quite awake either. You're still awake because you're driving, but some part of your consciousness is asleep, and you start to come into that same liminal zone that you're in when you experience, say, the old hag phenomena of the thing that sits on your chest while you're asleep, or where UFO abductees get sucked through walls and things. It's a state between a hypnagogic state between being asleep and waking, and that seems to be when you pick up vanishing hitchhikers.
Yeah, I've heard. I've read many accounts, and I've heard about many accounts from all over the world about phantom hitchhikers and ghost hitchhikers, or however you call it, and what kind of theory you might have behind them. It's a very, very intriguing storyline, but like Adam mentions, with Dust Devil, the African mysticism that is, housed within it is just incredible. It just really, if anybody doesn't know anything about, that sort of part of the world, you really do understand the universal sort of aspects that the movie sort of presents. And I love that movie. It's probably Richard, one of my favorite movies that you've put out there. I like them all, but I like I said, I really, really, really do enjoy Dust Devil.
Yeah, it's a weird, creepy little cursed film. I mean, we had to shoot it twice. We tried shooting it on 16mm when I was real young.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the first film I tried to shoot. We tried shooting it on 16mm when I was 15, 16 years old. And then it felt like the simplest movie we could possibly make, because all we needed was my Volkswagen and somebody driving it, and a girl to drive it, and who stops and picks up the hitchhiker. So it seemed like we could do it with like two people in a car. And the attempt to shoot it on 16mm ran into insane problems, which many of which became part of the 35mm movie. Some of the things that happened back then to us, we rolled into the subsequent reshoot of it. It went on for a while, and more crazy things happened in Dust Devil than you can imagine. I mean, like it was shot on 35mm film, and it's an old-fashioned film stock. And I think the edge numbering machine stuck on the first week of rushes and numbered everything 6-6, and the editing crew were too nervous to tell us. And the second unit crew had a proper UFO encounter out in the desert while filming time lapse. They were headed up by a guy named John Gator, who went on to create the bullet speed effect in the Matrix movies. But
okay,
so he's a credible witness. Second unit crew.
Maybe they gave him some sort of technology that he used for that. But yeah, that is cool.
It was a goofy state of affairs. A lot of weird stuff happened in the course of shooting Dust Devil. It was a spooky, haunted movie, and then trying to get a complete version of the movie out into the world has been super hard. It's taken years for the thing to surface, and I'm very very much hoping for a good 4K restoration.
That would be nice. A 4K restoration of that. That would be brilliant.
I should use this opportunity to plug the hardware 4K restoration now out from Umbrella.
Oh yes, Umbrella. That's right. They did. That's right. And that's on my bucket list. 4K hardware. I love it. Hey, good movie. If you guys have not seen it, check it out, and especially on 4K. Available now. Umbrella is out of the UK, are they not?
Out of Australia.
Australia, that's right. Sorry.
But have personally supervised the transfer, and it's now back to its full psychedelic colors and sound, and it's in beautiful shape. So I'm hoping to do the same for Dust Devil.
Well, that would be brilliant. I would love that. Well, hardware now, Dust Devil. There's another question. There's a few questions. Hold on. Let's see here. Hold on. Where did that question go?
From Melissa?
Yeah. Did Melissa had one? Did she not?
She did. I can read that while you look for the other one.
Go for it.
Let's see here. Question for Richard. Look at Mark's GAOC. Would Richard go to Cornwall and for something on Aleister Crowley in Cornwall, he'd be ideal for it? Okay.
Aleister Crowley's home? Yeah. The home to shoot something there. I
mean, again, I'm ambiguously positioned regarding Crowley. I mean, there's still not a decent Crowley movie out there actually depicting the man's life and deeds. Somebody has to do it, but I don't think I'm the one. There's any number. Yeah, I'm vaguely aware of the Hexy Cornish story. Really want to visit the Witchcraft Museum in Boscastle one day. Every goddamn time I've been in Boscastle, the Witchcraft Museum's always been closed, so I've never quite managed to get my foot in the door there. But someone should do a Crowley movie. Even the early stories about Crowley's mountaineering exploits would make for an interesting movie in terms of some of the one-off events that the man was allegedly involved in. But given my current position in the ongoing occult struggle here in the Pyrenees, I'm pretty much on the side of the Duc de Richelieu.
Here's the question. It kind of adds to what you kind of mentioned with the weird things, the weird aspects that played out during the shoot of Dust Devil. And B's just asking, do you ever have anything paranormal happen on set outside of, I guess, what you mentioned with Dust Devil?
It depends on your definition of paranormal, I guess, but straight up, when you go through your rushes, there's always one shot which is unquestionably the one. Everyone knows it's the one, and it's like, take like 5 or whatever. It just has it. There is such a thing as movie magic. Sometimes something just goes magically right. All the performances are spot on. A bird crosses the sky at that precise moment. Everything, the light's just right, and that one just totally has it. That in itself is kind of a little is a real magic. I love it when the whole thing works and comes to life in some kind of way, which is to me almost a paranormal event. Little coincidences happen and things seem to go magically right, which is the best kind of paranormal thing you could hope for at a set. Otherwise, there's a tendency for fictional things to become real if you think about them too long, which is a bit freaky. When you're focused on one project for any amount of time, little creepy things start to happen, which seem to be bits of your script or coming true in real life, which I don't know why that happens, but it does seem to happen. Each project seems to accrue a bunch of funny little hexy coincidences, like on Island of DR.MOREAU, there were hyenas everywhere, and like the suite I was in had hyena print wallpaper. I can't even imagine that being a normal thing in the so-called real world, but because of Moreau, it had to be hyena print wallpaper.
Hyena.
Yeah, the hyena swine was a thing in the Island of DR.MOREAU, and creeping up on me. My mom saw a hyena run across the road outside our house in Ireland, just when all that was going down. Hyenas kept cropping up the whole time, and different shows have different creepy omens that surround them, at least the ones that I work on.
We've got a whole school. Hold on. Okay, we've got a lot of questions here. Okay, so Steve's asking, what do you think of the Ruwa UFO incident? That's where the school children had witnessed the UFOs there in southern South Africa, was it not?
Yeah, I don't think I know much about that.
No? Okay. And
there's the other question from Adam as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you still keep in touch with Carl McCoy, Fields of Nephilim? Your work with them was stunning.
Thank you, sir. Now, I always wished I could make another Nephilim video. And maybe one day somebody should crowdfund it, because it seems that the band and Carl have no interest in actually doing such a thing. But it would be lovely to see a Neph's Last Stand music video. I would not give up hope on such a thing. Beyond all that, I would like one day to drag Carl back into the hardware universe. It would be nice to get him back into the Nomad's gear.
The possibility of a revision, maybe, that you have you've wanted to do. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a figure anyone can conceivably hold copyright on. The Man of No Name, or the Man of Coat, or the fucking Nomad, or call him what you will. The desire to step back into that space, regardless of all of the endless legal fracas of different folk wanting to own the IP or trademark the image. I would still like to be able to step back into that one day.
Okay, is that it for the question? I think that's it for the question.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
I'm just backtracking here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anyone's question.
Great questions tonight for the
chat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions on that front so far. If adding to hardware being on 4K, and it'd be great to see Dust Devil with a proper fully intact 4K representation too. Is there another movie that you'd like properly presented out there in 4K?
Well, I've only had the pleasure of writing and directing 3 full features. I mean, the documentaries don't get enough play, but Voice of the Moon was originally shot on 16mm, hand-cranked 16mm. It's only going to go so far in terms of how far you want to push the resolution.
True.
White Darkness, the same. I'm very partial to White Darkness, the feature-length Haitian voodoo film. which I don't think gets enough play and maybe my best work. But at the same time, it's never going to be any sharper than it is, because these things were shot on the available tools we had at the time. And would like to see them get out more and get a little more exposure.
Yeah, okay. I thought there was another question, but there's
not. Beyond that, if I get to plug something, I do have a self-published book out on Amazon at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, co-written with my partner, Simone Momo Gross, which is a book entitled The Man Who Made God.
The Man Who Made God. Let's see.
And it's an adventure into fantasy.
And
it's basically a work of, Lovecraftian, Dunsanian fantasy, which is The Man Who Made God by Richard Stanley and Momo Mila Grosh. It's a step into another world, because I haven't attempted to write fantasy for a very, very long time. But it's adapted from material I wrote when I was a 10-year-old.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get a link there so people can find it. Let's see here.
I got it. It's posting right now.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, my first love was high fantasy. I mean, I came into Lovecraft through the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath, and absolutely adored it. And because Lovecraft adored Dunsany, it steered me very young towards the gods of Pagana and the Dunsanian fantasy. Pretty much everything that I wrote in the early part of my life was high fantasy, Lovecraftian fantasy.
And you said the other book you have coming out is available. You said August, I believe. Oh, we've got a few people who have purchased it.
Yeah, the other book lands in August. Man Who Made God proceeds go direct to us. And I want someone to tell me what they think, because pretty much everyone's been too terrified to say what they think of the darn thing yet, because it's really not like anything else. And it's a pretty odd piece of work.
Odd is good though. Odd is fun. I mean, and what is it? Are they afraid that they're going to hurt your feelings about it? Like, I mean, what they're afraid?
I think it's so far out of the box. No one knows what to think of it, because it's dealing with a place that no one's ever heard of before, and a character and a bunch of situations which I think are pretty fresh, and at the same time do reflect in a fairly disturbing way on our current circumstances on planet Earth. I mean, namely on the situation with artificial intelligence.
There's a big push, and
The Man Who Made God concerns a master craftsman, a wood carver who works in a distant forest and who carves an icon of spring of the goddess in the form of wood. She enlightens his days and his masterpiece, but of course then people want to buy her from him. He refuses to sell her because she's literally the light of his life, so they steal her from him. He loses control of the IP and is then forced to pursue his creation and to in the hope of getting it back. But this issue of losing control of our own creation, having it taken from us or turned against us is something which is fundamentally more powerful than ourselves, is I think one of the issues we're currently facing.
Absolutely.
It won't let me post the link.
It won't let you post the link.
No.
I suppose.
What'd you do? Hold on, let me see here. There's a couple of questions there, I think. Just read those and I'll get the link here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
If I can find the questions now. I think I lost.
I think it's Adam had two questions there.
Adam, okay. All right, the first one is, are there still plans for a graphic novel adaptation based on your original Moreau script and the storyboards?
Not at this present point in time, but I think someone ought to try it.
Awesome.
I'd love to see it happen, but at this point in time, the island of DR.MOREAU is dormant.
Okay.
Trying to find the other question. I can't find the other question.
I think it's just below there. I'm just pulling up the book now, I think.
No, that was it. There was no other questions.
Oh, there was? I thought. Hold on a sec. I think there was.
In case I missed one, just retype it.
Let me just double check here. Also, which one did you just read it? Sorry, which one did you read?
That's the one that says also the Richard. Are there still any plans for graphic novel?
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's okay. So you got that. Frank posted it. Let me just double post it so it goes through. I just want to make sure everybody can. Oh, it went through, Frank. So yeah, it's there. It's in chat. So if anybody wants to look for that book, again, all proceeds go back to you, Richard. Correct?
Yeah, The Man Who Made God is a work of high fantasy. It's the first time I've tried to put any prose writing out there, so I feel very vulnerable about it. Co-authored with Momo, and definitely a one from the heart. So I'd love to hear what you think about it. Beyond that, got a rather large, frightening book coming in August from Bear & Co., which is a Vermont-based company, and it will be coming to bookstores and available online, which is a magnum opus entitled Otto Rahn, Grail Hunter, which is the sum total pretty much of everything that I know about Otto Wilhelm Rahn, the German Jewish Grail historian who went looking for the Grail in the 1930s. And because of the tendency of researchers to disappear, die, or otherwise, I thought a few years ago it was a good idea to tidy all of the material together into one bundle, into some kind of sum total of what I knew about the case. So Otto Rahn, Grail Hunter, comes in August, and it's been rigorously fact-checked and legally researched and backwards and forwards, because it's a wild, provocative yarn. And I hope it will be my gift to conspiracy theorists of the days to come.
I've actually grabbed the book as well, Richard. I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. And again, once again, it's in chat, so you just follow the link. And yeah, okay, so perfect. And I'm just reading, making sure there's no other questions. Oh wait. Oh, there's the other question there, Alex. I don't know. Can you read that, Richard? Are you able to read that?
Do you have any hopes of more future ethnographic filmmaking in the future?
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, the problem with ethnographic filmmaking is that it always has to be self-funded, because pretty much nobody ever pays you to do this shit. I mean, the Afghan trip back in the day was basically on our own initiative, and we just went and did it, which was fully insane. The voodoo documentary got made as a result of a series of ridiculous circumstances, where the BBC sent me to Haiti to shoot some programs for the BBC, where I'm thinking that I was some kind of expert on voodoo. But in point of fact, I don't speak Creole. I've never been to Haiti before in my life, and it was, and then I was left on the island for months with really great camera equipment, sound, and basically was just dumped into an ideal set of circumstances to cover the voodoo festivals, and then we got invaded by America. We were ideally situated to film the American occupation, which transformed the documentary White Darkness into the very strange beast that it is, which is a little voodoo apocalypse film. And there was just a fluke circumstance that we happened to be there with the cameras when all that stuff started unfolding. How to get funding for to actually go and shoot something like that, it's tricky. Maybe it could be crowdfunded, but at the end of the day, it comes down to disposable income. I mean, right now I'm very much wanting to go back to Central Asia again, to pick up on the sort of Shambhala current that had taken me to the Hindu Kush and the edge of the Karakorums back in the late 80s. And some part of me has a desire to go back and go a bit deeper before I get too old to be able to do it. So this has been in my my thoughts of late, and will probably be following the Otto Rahn Grail dossier with a similar tome on the quest for Shambhala. But I expect it to take at least a year to a year and a half for me to be able to get a completed text that's ready to put out to the public. But very much looking forward to seeing how people respond to Otto Rahn Grail Hunter in August. I think it's tremendous material for pulp writers, because a lot of those things would make for good fiction. You could make a lot of the characters would make for good bad guys in Lost Indiana Jones episodes.
Yeah. Well, we're coming to a close. This was quick. This just flew by. Thank you, Richard. Once again, the rabbit hole is real. It is real. It is real, and I look forward to reading, the two books that you mentioned, and when that, the next one's available in August. So thank you again, my friend. Incredible. Always incredible. A pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, always a pleasure, sir, and always just, a great privilege to enlighten folk to the fact that we do indeed live in a weird and kind of magical universe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, as much as people, I think, want to deny the fact that, there's nothing odd going on, there is. Look.
Yeah, every day in huge amounts.
Yeah. It's all around you. You just got to open your mind. Open your mind. Understand. It's there's a lot of weirdness going on, and I have witnessed so many things that defies logic, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's there, and embrace it to the fact where, hey, something's going on. Yes. So we got all the links out there for anybody who wants to make contact with you, Richard. Your website, and I will put the links to the books up in the show notes and so on and so on for those who are interested in purchasing the books. By all means, man, is all proceeds go back to you, Richard. So, guys, go out and grab it. Read. Richard, thank you again. A pleasure, and I absolutely look forward to having you back on. Always a pleasure.
Surely so. So, look forward to sharing some more anecdotes. And in the meantime, yeah, go well out there and yeah, keep your eyes wide open.
And probably some hey, maybe Dunwich material.
Dunwich comes like a summer storm, but Yog-Sothoth will have his day.
Awesome. Can't wait for that too.
Take care, Richard. Have a good evening.
Take care, compadres.
Take care, Richard. Have a good night.
Good night. You know what, man? I absolutely blast having Richard on.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
The first time and the second time, it just it's a total different thing. Like I said, totally different tonight than the first time we had him on.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you can't expect it to be the same all the time.
No,
right?
and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. You know, yeah, Dunwich. That will be so cool. The way he's describing it in two parts. You know,
there's not a lot of people that can do Lovecraft movies as well. They can't. It's hard to do Lovecraft movies or adaptations, I should say, because of the nature of the stories. I thought what Richard did with Color Out of Space was as close to being truthful to the Lovecraft story as any other sort of adaptations that I've seen out there.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, hopefully he does come out with the Dunwich Horror and Yog-Sothoth and, you know, okay, the Mountain of Madness. So obviously that's a big project.
Mountain of Madness is out there, buddy. An adaptation by the Spanish director, what's his name? And
Del
it's
Toro. Del Toro.
Not Del Toro.
At the Mountain of Madness was
there
may very well be have made.
Let
I'm
me
talking
bring it
about a
up.
big. What Del Toro's trying to do is do a very big budget version of that movie.
Hold on,
or of that story.
It's a cult classic, and I'm telling you, man, I'm surprised you have not seen it. Hold on, let me just by Spanish director. What's his name? It's eluding my memory here. It's been so long. Let me just pull it up here.
You sure they made a movie out of it?
Yeah. Hold on. Jodorowsky, I think his name is Jodorowsky. I have to look it up. I'll find it. I'll find it.
Look it up and let me know, because I know Del Toro's been on and off again with his name has been tied on and off with this project. And it's supposed to be like obviously
I'm thinking of the Holy Mountain. Sorry, Adam's right. I'm thinking of the Holy Mountain.
Yeah, I didn't. That's right. I didn't think there was a Mountain of Madness.
That's another fucked up movie. You want to talk about fucked up movies? Check out Holy Mountain.
Yeah,
incredible. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Richard Stanley's an incredible human being, and if you've not seen his movies, I'm telling you, like Hardware, Dust Devil, and he's done a plethora of documentaries. The Other World, Steve, I know you're in chat. You brought that up. Interesting, very, very interesting. It talks about the zone and the Pyrenees mountains that Richard calls the zone, and it's a kind of like a Bridgewater Triangle sort of scenario where a lot of stuff goes a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff happens, and it has been documented for thousands of years. And of course, The Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And again, his influence from Argento is just incredible. Like when he said that, when he made his way to the UK, and I think he said the early 80s, the mid 80s, I think it was, and he was visiting a relative, and his relative was busy at the time, and he had nowhere to stay, and he said it was cheaper to stay in the theater and watch an all-night matinee than it was to grab a hotel, and that matinee was all of Dario Argento's movies. And I'm like, wow, he must have been in heaven. And he had no idea. I don't think he knew who Dario Argento was, I'm pretty sure, until after he'd watched his movies.
Right.
And his movie Suspiria is a huge influence on a lot of people. And it constantly plays out throughout his work. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. So guess who's on the show next week?
I don't know who.
That's why I've kept it. Tom was saying there was some weird
noise.
Something coming through.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of hearing it. Do you hear it?
I don't hear anything. Completely silent on my end.
Oh, I went. That was weird. Hold on a sec. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? No.
Oh, hold on a sec. Hold on. Something went weird with my my net went berserk there for a second. There we go. It's the weirdness that we've been talking about. It's there. It happens. Believe me, it does. So anyways, yeah, YouTube is failing. Keep saying you're alive, then you're alive. My studio is haunted. Everything okay there? Okay, cool. But anyways, so next Sunday night, our very good friend, Michelle Durocher is going to be joining us.
Yep.
And we're going to catch up. We're going to talk about a lot of local weird, high strangeness crap, because there's a lot of it. And she's a wealth of knowledge with that stuff. So we'll probably talk a lot about that on Sunday night.
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
And of course, we will be on the Outer Realm Wednesday night, March 20th. Starting at, I believe her show starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so that we'll be on her show with Amelia. So that'll be pretty.
Amelia's not able to come on our show?
I don't know if I just asked Michelle, but I mean, obviously Amelia is more than welcome to come on. Obviously, I just threw it out to Michelle because we were kind of talking, because I popped into her show. She was doing a live there, and we were chatting, and we said, you got to come on the show. We got to come on, blah, 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 whatever. It's open. It's an open invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will probably do, I know you probably won't, but I will. I will probably do a live after this.
Well, not me.
I probably will. I've got I got the day off tomorrow, so guys, I'll probably do a live after this if you guys are all up to doing a live after the Richard Stanley experience. Once again, I want to thank Richard for coming on the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hold tight. We'll be right back here with a live.
And I'm hitting the road. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, guys. Take care, everyone. Later.